Should you still be selling your music? Intro. What's up, everybody? It is Keyz from KeefKeyz.com, and on today I want to talk to you about, should you still be selling your music? I mean, are we even there yet? Should we really be having this conversation in 2019? So the other day I was online and I came across this guy. His name is Damian Keyes, and Damian is an entrepreneur. He's a social media guru. He is an author. He's a music industry specialist, and he has a unique idea on the music industry as it stands in 2019. He has a unique idea on us artists, producers, musicians in 2019 and kind of how we treat music. It's a very unique perspective, and I want to talk about it with you, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on it. So throughout this video, whatever you think and whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the description below. So at first, he made a video saying that we should stop selling music. And then because he made that video, he had to make another video dealing with the fallout of the first video that he made. And then he ended up making a third video kind of summing up everything and going into a little bit more detail of what he actually meant when he suggested that we should not be selling our music anymore. Matter of fact, actually, I'm going to play a little bit of that third video now just so you kind of get a gist of what we're talking about.
How can we look to a new way to monetize the great stuff that you're doing rather than trying desperately to print CDs or print vinyl and sell them at gigs? So before we look at these ways to monetize your music, I want to look at two of the main problems we are facing. Number one is the decline of sales, the decline of music being sold because of streaming. Now, a lot of people were arguing about this, saying people still buy music, but it's massively in the minority. If you want some stats, check this out. In the year 2000, nearly 1 billion CDs were sold, and in 2017, around 90 million CDs were sold. That is under 10%. 10% of what was sold 17 years earlier, and it's not getting any better. And the second problem is this DIY approach. We know that we have control. We don't need the gatekeeper. We can now take control of our music career and make something happen without a record label. But there comes a problem, which is that means whilst you can do it, you are now in charge of the process of writing, of recording, of managing, of tours, of PR, of press, of social media, of marketing, of advertising. I don't know about you, but there is so much to do that it's become really, really difficult to focus on the art. So what we need right now is a clear plan. We need focus, and anything that we don't need to be working on needs to be pushed to the side so we are working on just the most important things. Now on to why I'm suggesting giving the music away instead of selling it. It's because it's a mindset, because we're looking at this focus, because we're not telling the audience, here it is for free, can you also go and buy it? Unless it's attached to something on a gig, and we've talked about this, I see that as merchandise. I know a lot of you don't. I see selling 5, 10, 15, 20 CDs at a gig as merch, like a t-shirt, but we'll come on to that. But it's a mindset of what is it that you are trying to achieve and what is it that you want the audience to do. If you can think like this, everything revolves around this idea of building and looking after the audience, making the audience do something that it doesn't really want to do, i.e. buy a CD when there's no CD player in a car and there's no CD player in their laptop, means you are forcing them a lot of the times to do something. And if they love the band, they will. I'm not saying they won't, but you're trying to force people to buy music when they don't need to. Now, once we can build the audience, which we are going to do by looking after them like they've never been looked after before, once we can do that, we can monetize the whole thing and not just try and monetize the music. Because when we're trying to monetize the music, again, we are trying to get them to buy stuff, and they're not really that up for it when you look at the general public. So we are going to look at rewarding them, give and give and give and give and give, but we're going to monetize it elsewhere.
So Damon said a lot, but basically what he was saying was at one point in time, music was actually connected to something valuable as well, whether it was a product or whether it was a culture movement or whatever. It was connected to something else valuable that actually gave the music more weight. You know, that's kind of equivalent to, like, you know, our money, US dollars, back with gold. He also goes into a collective number of stats that from back in the day, how more people were buying CDs or albums, period in general, versus nowadays where that number is declining every single day at a rapid pace. So a lot of people aren't even buying albums anymore because of streaming platforms and because of technology and how easy it actually is to get someone's album at the tip of your fingertips. So I kind of have to agree with Damon to some degree. Maybe not to the whole extent that we should stop selling our music altogether, but I do agree with the fact that music and the price that you pay for music kind of puts a decrease on the value or what you're actually getting from the music you're paying for. Nowadays, anybody can release music, therefore it's not scarce. Since it's not scarce, I don't have to pay more money for it. Therefore, I can just pay less and less and less. And nowadays, in some platforms, we pay nothing at all to listen to our favorite music. And I even work with some artists, and I kind of question why they want physical CD copies of their albums or their EPs actually to be printed. We're just at the day and age with physical CDs that it's pretty much worthless in a sense, because you're spending so much money to get the CDs made. You're not going to make that money back for the price of the CD that you're actually selling it for. And not too many people even have CD players anymore, so I don't understand that concept. Now, my producing career actually started taking off when I actually got with a group of producers, and we would always meet. And one thing that we will always talk about is we would talk about how in other industries there are so many different business models that the music industry still does not adapt. And those industries are doing far better off than dollars in the music industry. And that's when I actually got the concept of incentives and actually giving somebody an incentive or a reason or something so valuable up front, an enticing value product that they cannot resist, that in return they will turn into a lead for you that you can market to and actually turn into somebody that you can sell to and that they can be a client. So one incentive that I actually offer is called the Independent Artist Bundle Pack, and that includes 5 free beats, a free ebook, and free recording tips to help you record your vocals and your studio recordings better if you record for yourself. Shameless plug, if you would like those 5 free beats, the ebook, and those free tips, you can click the link in the description below. So here's the thing, I actually sell these items, but I'm giving it away for free because I want to entice somebody and giving somebody value to my brand and who I actually am up front, and that gives them a reason to actually do business with me or to even play my instrumental or to buy an instrumental from me or to support my brand in some way, shape, or form. There are many other industries that actually do this and many other businesses that actually use this model as well. Even when it comes to software, most of the time you can download what they call a free trial. They give you the version, a watered down version, or the actual version of that software for a limited amount of time for you to experience how good it is up front and hope that you will actually purchase the real version of it later. And this incentive actually gives you a reason to do business with them. In the music industry, sometimes we don't do well with giving people a reason to actually buy our music. So I have a friend named AD from Anno Domini Beats, and he's a multi-platinum producer. And one thing that AD taught me was a subscription-based business model. Yes, the same exact business model that Netflix used to put blockbusters out of business. And AD has a group called the Inner Circle where he built a community of other artists that can experience hundreds of beats for free, tips just community access, different access to different relationships for the music industry. And he does all of this and only charges them a fee per month to actually access all of these things. You could literally charge somebody $20 or $10 a month, and they will have access to more beats, a community, and more things that you actually have to offer. But because the deal is so sweet, and because they love beats, because they love the community, because they love everything that you have to offer, they won't cancel it. Think about it. How many times did you think about canceling Netflix because you like the convenience of being able to watch almost any movie you want to watch whenever you want to watch it? And then by actually doing this, you can upsell people inside the community with whatever other things that you have. If you have merch, you know, sell them coffee mugs, sell them a freaking mop in a bucket for all I care. It doesn't matter. But the simple fact that they're paying you for something, you can upsell them on other things pertaining to your brand. The problem with a lot of artists, producers, and musicians, what we think is the one product we have is our music is our only product we have to sell. But to be honest with you, you yourself as a brand is worth more, and you do have a lot more you can offer to these people who want to just listen to your music. And as of right now, I also have been building my own portion of a subscription-based business for my music business. So the idea is to not sell your music because we think it's worthless. We actually think it's very priceless. So the idea is to not sell you music because we think it's worthless. We actually think it's priceless. The problem is that a lot of us as artists, musicians, and producers, we think that the only way to make money off of our music is by selling our music direct. We're not necessarily thinking about selling things around our music that increases our brand, where they can still have access to our music, but we're not selling our music directly. In other words, he's saying, do not make your music the very means of money. If I were to put it in my own words, it basically would be to actually sell your brand, sell who you are, sell your personality, sell the access to your life, sell all of those things, and then give people the music. So I guess in some sense, I do agree with Damian. Maybe not to the full extent that he's saying to stop selling music altogether, but the facts that he does bring up are true. And I do agree with a lot of what he's saying about build your brand and actually sell your brand and sell the access to your music, because that's actually what I'm doing now. So yeah, this is a tough conversation. I mean, no easy way about it, but I would love to hear your thoughts and what you think about it. So whatever you think, leave it in the description below, and I promise you I will discuss this topic in the description below with you. Also, if you want to really continue the discussion, let me know. I'll make another video and we can keep this conversation going, because we're just going further and further into this digital streaming age, and I would just want to know what everybody's thoughts about us going into the future and selling music. So if you like this video, you want to see more videos like this, or if you just want to see this conversation go on, please subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification bell so you know when I post a video. If you are interested in any free beats, an ebook, or some recording tips, you can click the link in the description below and download the Independent Artist Bundle Pack. So I got a lot of new gear in the studio as well, and I'm probably going to be doing a video on that soon. But in the description below, I do have a link to every single thing that I'm using now, and some stuff I may just be giving away. So please subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in the loop about what gear I'm giving away and what gear I use now. Yeah, and I guess that's it. So I really would want to hear your thoughts. If you want to find me, you can catch me at KeefKeys.com, or you can catch me on social media at Keef_Keyz. And I'll see y'all in the next video.